Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about strength and hypertrophy for rugby players, what sets, reps, and intensifiers should you be using to get the most strength and most out of your training, right? So let's get into this. First of all, sets and reps. I have talked about this a lot in other videos, so I'm going to refer back to the other videos. So if you want, go back and watch some of the other videos where I talk about more sets and reps, because first of all, sets and reps really come down to how many days a week are you going to train, okay? And that really matters. So if you're going to do a split of 2 upper, 2 lowers, then you're going to do a few more sets, okay? Because you're going to have more time until you need to work out again, okay? Well, you have more time until you work out again, okay? Those same muscle fibers. And so in a program like that, you're going to be looking at anywhere between 4 and 6 on a certain muscle fiber, okay, which might be 12 if you're doing all of upper body, right? And then in a split where you're doing a full body program, which you might be training 3 days a week, okay, you might be looking at of only doing 1 to 2 sets on each on the muscle fibers. And like more likely just 1 set, because the whole thing is that you need to be recovered for the next workout, okay? If we want to be able to get the most mechanical tension, okay, which is going to cause growth, it's going to cause strength gains, right? Then you need to be recovered. You need to be fresh. We need your nervous system working. And that way, each week you can keep on increasing the load or increasing how many reps you did, and that is what's going to help you keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, so the sets really depends on when you're working out next. If it's going to be a long time till you work out again, then you might want to do a few more, okay, because it's going to take a longer amount of time, okay, well, because you have that longer amount of time, you're going to have more atrophy. As a natural athlete, you're going to have a lot more atrophy, which is you losing size gains, okay, and this is where the big thing is, and like you look at influencers on YouTube, Instagram, most of these dudes are running some sort of steroid, okay, which means they're not going to get that atrophy effect, okay, and so like the advice they're putting out there, maybe not the greatest advice for you, okay, you might want to look at someone who's been fully natural their whole life, and let me tell you now, a lot of those bodybuilders out there and strength conditioning coaches run some sort of TRT, okay, some sort of testosterone, and this is where we get these crazy programming things. What you really want to do is start looking back what worked before steroids. Okay, and that means people got strong back then too. So your rep ranges. So for strength and hypertrophy, you don't really need to go past that 4 to 8 reps. Okay, you don't really need to go below it. You don't need to go above it. And in that, you are going to get super strong and you are going to get as jacked as possible, really, because within those 4 to 8 reps, okay, we're going to stimulate all the muscle fibers, assuming that you're using the right load. And the right load, okay, would be that you're doing a load of around where you could get 1 more rep out. So say you're doing 4 reps, you would be able to get 5 reps just, okay, and that would be a 1 rep in reserve. You could do a 2 rep in reserve, okay, which just wouldn't give you quite as much hypertrophy stimulus. And that also impacts the sets. How many sets you're going to do is how close you're going to train to failure. If you're going to train more close to failure, then you're going to do way less sets. Otherwise, you're just going to tank your nervous system and you're going to have a lot of fatigue, okay? So 4 to 8 reps is all you really need. You don't need to go outside of that for strength and hypertrophy, okay? If you don't want to do more endurance with your weights, then yes, you might do higher rep ranges. But realistically, if you want the adaptations of endurance, then don't use your weights for it, okay? Use your conditioning. Use your off-beat conditioning, because that is going to be far more effective with less fatigue, okay? That is really important. And then if you're going to do your strength and power stuff, that might even be less than that, okay? So if you're doing your power cleans, you're probably only going to go to between 1 and 5, okay? If you're doing any sort of jumps, okay, weighted jumps, you might be doing between 1 and 3. Right? You might be doing 10. It just depends on what quality are you trying to get out, okay? And that's what matters for reps. So I just want to touch on them quickly because I've done other videos on intensifiers. This is what I really want to talk about, intensifiers, all right? I hope I spelt that right, and I know my handwriting is terrible, and anyone can bag me out for it. I don't care. I really don't care. What I care about is having good quality information. What you don't need, intensifiers, these are things that like make it harder, right? Like this is what people will do in the gym. They'll go to their tricep extension and they'll start doing this, and then they'll put the next plate down, they'll keep going, and then they'll burn out and they'll go to the next one. After that first set, before they've dropped the weight, that's as much mechanical tension as they're going to get out of that set. Okay, after that, all right, they're not going to be reaching those higher and higher levels of motor units to keep themselves going. Because they've dropped the weight, okay, even though they're near that failure, their body is not able to, or your body is not able to reach those higher threshold motor units. And that's what we need to do to actually gain muscle. Okay, so drop sets, unnecessary. Literally just there because of bodybuilders and steroids. Okay, people on steroids get results without even training. And that's why their training works, because they don't actually need to train to put on muscle. And there, I said it. All right, yes, and yes, it will help them get stronger faster. Yes, they're not going to get the atrophy effect. But you don't need to do it. It's actually going to reduce your results as a natural athlete. Okay, so if you want more results, don't do that. Don't do supersets of the same muscle group. So like a drop set. Don't do a push-up into a chest exercise straight into a push-up. Okay, unless you're going to do something that's power, which will be different. Okay, so you might stimulate with a power push-up and then go to your bench press, which is not the same as doing a bench press and then repping out as many push-ups until you can't do any more. They are not the same thing. Okay, once again, that is not going to stimulate the high threshold motor units or the muscle fibers that we need to. Okay, just because you're taking to failure. Short rest periods. This is a big one. Now, I know a study came out not too long ago. It was a meta-analysis showing that you only need 90 seconds rest to grow muscle. But let me tell you, I think it was 8 studies. Only one of them was on trained athletes. And the one that was on trained athletes showed that 3-minute rests were better. All the rest were on beginners. And so the beginners don't really matter because they're going to get results anyway. And most people watching this stuff aren't beginners. Yes, some people are beginners, but even the beginners will get better results having longer rest periods. And you're like, no, what do I do for 3 minutes? And I've had discussions with strength coaches where they're like, oh, I can't give a footy player a 3-minute rest. You know, like they just want to get things done. They want to go this and that. And then I said, well, did you explain to them that they're going to get worse results that way? Because like, I know I don't want to go to the gym and get worse results. If I'm going to the gym, I want to get absolutely everything out of it. And so if you're like me, then don't do that. Don't have your short rest periods. Okay, they are not they are not making your workout better. Yes, you might feel like that was hard, but that does not make it better. Just because something feels hard, like it does not make it harder. And I should add something unstable. Unstable. Okay, so making something unstable might make it really feel really hard, but that is not training the quality of strength or hypertrophy. Just because it's unstable, all right, once again, might feel really hard. Doesn't make it better for hypertrophy or strength, okay? Not going to help you get the mechanical tension that you want. What you do want to do is do your straight sets. Okay, that's 1 set, rest 3 minutes. That is 100%. Whoop. End up like the night tick. 100% what you want to be doing. And if you just stayed there, it'd be good. What you could do is add something powerful before it. Okay, add a stimulator. All right, that will help you reach more motor units. So add in something to help you with those straight sets. Okay, the next best thing after straight sets is probably supersets. Okay, but this is your number 1. That's probably your best. This is probably number 2 if you're time poor. You can do supersets between antagonists. Okay, or opposite muscle groups. So say you're doing a bench press, you might like to do a chin-up with it, okay, or a row, okay? Now, a row is probably better than chin-up in that case because a row is going to be less fatiguing. But then you might rest, 2 to 3 minutes between each one. So that means you'll get a 6-minute rest between the bench press and you'll get a 6-minute rest before you get back to the row, okay? So those muscle fibers have had a lot of rest, okay, and that's what we need. And we need the nervous system to be fresh so you can lift heavy. So supersets between opposite sides, they can work, all right? they can work. And that can help make your workout a bit shorter too, like just a touch shorter. Long rests, I've explained that one, and clusters. So clusters is where you might have, you might do a rep, say you're doing 5 reps, okay, but you have 15 seconds between each rep. So say you're doing bench press, you press, you put it down, you rest 15 seconds, you pick it up, you go again. And what that does is just help you do a heavier load and reach more motor units, okay, those high threshold. I don't do that one too often. I try and stick to just straight sets because it's much easier to do. Like, it doesn't take as long. Clusters could take quite a while, and you often overshoot on that one. But they're your best things. Like, keeping it simple, doing that is going to absolutely dominate you going into the gym and trying to thrash yourself. Okay, and that's what so many people do, and it's fine. Like, you'll still get some results, but like, wouldn't you want to have better results? Like, I know for me personally, if I'm going to be putting in the work and I've got to come back next season, then I am going to do everything I possibly can to have the best training. Because I know that training or programming, how you program for yourself or what program you get, actually makes the biggest difference into like how your body is going to act. Okay, more than anything. All right, like your nutrition, obviously, if you're eating too much, you get fat, that's going to impact you a lot. But in terms of getting strong, getting fast, getting mobile, and you're getting fit, that is coming directly from your training. And the better training you have, then the better you'll go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please send me a message, Rugby Development Coach on Instagram. Hit me up, send me through your thoughts, whatever. And yeah, check out our programs. Go to rugbydevelopmentcoach.com and you can see the maximum muscle program, which is more strength and power building, whereas the super player program is more speed. Okay, so a lot more fast stuff with some strength stuff too, so you still will build size. Okay, yeah, anything else, send me a message. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.